The only place I have a house officially built is in Onitsha. I don't own a property anywhere outside Nigeria except in the UK where I lived.
Yes.
Other than that, any other place that there's a property in the name of Peter Obi, it is fake. It doesn't exist.
The present governor of Abuja State, gave me a land in Abuja. He said you can ask him. He asked me 3 months ago that I'm the only person who have getting land who haven't built it. I said, I told you, I do not need a land in Abuja. I don't want house all over the place. I'm not against those who do it. As long as it doesn't conflict my interest, they can do it.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25, 2023, and the result controversially announced on March 1st, 2023, and that result has been challenged at the Presidential Election Petition Court, from where the matter has moved to the Supreme Court. Now, one of the principal actors in protestation of the outcome of that election is Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Now, one of the things that made Peter Obi to stand out at the run-up to the 2023 presidential election was because of his integrity, his squeaky clean antecedent, and because nothing could be pinned on him in terms of corruption. He has never been accused or found guilty by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And one of the things that stood him out was his record in Anambra State as governor, where he was also able to give governance that is unparalleled in history of Nigeria in terms of integrity, in terms of capacity, in terms of delivery of dividends of democracy. He was the only candidate among those who were former governors and former governors who were in the race, who was not collecting pension. Okay? He is not collecting 1 naira from Anambra State government. And he is also the person that has done a lot to show that you don't have to go to government to steal money to satisfy primitive accumulation of wealth. The video you saw right now, before now, was a video showing Peter Obi before the election, and also showing newspaper headlines in a recent report where it was reported that Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, revoked lands and or plots of land that was allocated to Nigerians. According to the report, the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, has approved the immediate revocation of 164 plots of land in the serviced districts of the Federal Capital City. Some of the high-profile individuals affected by the action included the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, former governor of Cross River State, Senator Imoke, former secretary to the government of the Federation, Chief Ufot Ekaite, former Justice of the Supreme Court and Chairman of the National Political Reform Conference, late Justice Nyesom Wike. Others are former Justice of the Supreme Court, Udoma, two-time Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Kano Agabi, Chairman of Bua Group, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, former Chairman, columnist Donu Kobara, among others. Now, the report said that Obi's plots of land in Katampe district was revoked, while Imoke plot of land in Maitama was also revoked. The Federal Capital Territory Administration explained in a statement that the revocation was premised on the failure of the allotted owners to develop the plots. It added that the notice for the revocation, as compiled by the Land Department, was approved by Nyesom Wike due to continuous contravention of the terms of agreement as encapsulated. But what I want you to take note of, you saw the newspapers that I introduced this video with. You see, all the newspaper headlines started with Peter Obi. Peter Obi. All of them started with they revoked Peter Obi. Peter Obi was at the center of all of them. All the headlines, they make sure they put Peter Obi number one. Why did they do it? It is for them to demarcate Peter Obi, because Peter Obi, in the videos you saw, is one of the things that Peter Obi said during the campaign, before the campaign, that he had only one house in Nigeria, in Onitsha, and that he has only another house, another place. The other place he had a house in Nigeria was in the United Kingdom. He had been very clear about this. But when this matter came up, people were all over Twitter, especially those of the APC supporters and co, talking about that. You see now Peter Obi that say has only one house, they revoke his property. But they were ignorant. That was why the third video that you watch, where Peter Obi was talking about the fact that this thing was given to Peter Obi, but Peter Obi didn't have much regard for it. You can see in the last video where he was talking about the fact that that land was given to him, allocated to him, not by his own request, but it was allocated to him by the former minister of the FCT, who is now the governor of Bauchi State. Bala Mohammed. It was allocated to him at the time when Bala Mohammed was the minister of the FCT. Perhaps there was a decision to allocate land to former governors or something like that. And you can see where Peter was talking about it, that he met governor of Bauchi State recently, and the governor was telling him that of all the people that was allocated land, he allocated land during that period, you are the only one that have not developed your plots. What does that show you? What does that show you? It shows you that Peter Obi is not somebody who believes in primitive accumulation of wealth. Those who are celebrating that they have found something on Peter Obi, that he owns land in Abuja, they got it wrong. In fact, what happened with this revocation of his land, undeveloped land in Abuja, is another indication that Peter Obi is not into the materialism in the context of Nigerian average politician. So those who think that it has run bad on him, the thing has even increased his level of integrity, the level that people look up to him as a man of his words. He didn't build the house. He didn't develop the land because he didn't think it was necessary. He didn't think it was necessary. Of course, you can see where he said that he doesn't mean that it's against those who accepted to build house in Abuja and stuff. But for him, now these are the kind of leaders that a country, a developing country, an emerging country like Nigeria needs. Not leaders that are into primitive accumulation of wealth. Right from when they were governors, right from when they were ministers, they have been appropriating resources of the people with which they have now become stupendously wealthy, and yet they are not satisfied. They are still angling, looking for what more to grab. So those who think we are celebrating on social media say, yes, Peter Obi used to say that he doesn't have any other house except the one in Onitsha. Now we have caught him. You didn't catch anything. The man is as clean as he had been all this while. But I can tell you for free, as they have revoked the land, Peter Obi will not be among those who go and lobby Nyesom Wike to get their plot back. Because he wasn't even interested in it in any case. It was just a gift, an unsolicited gift by the government of the day at the time. So Peter Obi this thing has shown to those who cares, those who want a new Nigeria, that yes, the man they backed, the man they supported, the man they trust in his integrity, the man they believe that if he had been the one on the seat, he will fight corruption. He will reduce corruption by his exemplary lifestyle. Because we all know that one of the reasons that fuel corruption in Nigeria is primitive accumulation of wealth. The greed of the average Nigerian politician to acquire and keep on acquiring. You can see that Peter Obi, all these acquisitions are not the kind of things that thrives him. It's not the kind of things that he desires. He wants to see everybody lifted up from poverty to prosperity. He believed that God has given him enough. How many of our leaders can look back and say that God has given them enough to slow down? Do you know that if Nigerian leaders could slow down in primitive accumulation of wealth and look at somebody like Peter Obi and imbibe his way of life, less money will be stolen in this country and more money will be available for development. Right now, this country is in dire straits. The country is in a total dire strait. The naira is collapsing. Inflation is at all-time high, highest ever. Unemployment highest ever. Forget about the recent Judy's statistics from the NBS about the rate of unemployment, which all reasonable people had kicked against. Even the Punch newspaper wrote an editorial condemning that view of NBS that we now have less number of unemployment in Nigeria, using spurious statistics. The truth of the matter remains that Nigerians are worse off today than they were in 2015. And at the center of it is corruption. President Muhammad Buhari came in 2015 with the mantra of war against corruption. But by the time he left office in 8 years, his administration was adjudged to be the most corrupt in Nigeria's history. If another party had taken over government, there are strong indications that what would have been found out will make Abuja and Mobutu Sese Seko look like neophytes in primitive accumulation of wealth. Now, this corruption issue is the reason why the country is where it is right now. And you need a leader like Peter Obi, somebody who is averse to corruption by his lifestyle, so that if you reduce corruption, then you'll be able to reduce the money that are in the hands of political buccaneers with which they used to steal elections and cause confusion everywhere. And then there will be more money for the development of the country. That is why I'm among those who was excited when I got this video where Peter Obi explaining clarity about the land that he was allocated to in Abuja. It wasn't that he requested for it. And even at that, he didn't show any passion to develop it. Because, like I said, he is not into primitive accumulation of wealth. We know that there are records of him rejecting land offer that was genuinely allocated to him in Anambra State when he was governor. What he did was so marvelous that even the Oba of Benin asked him when he went on campaign turnover in Benin, asked him, is it true that there's this trend on social media, they gave you land and you rejected it and you gave it to another person? He said yes, that he gave it to somebody who is more deserving of it, a civil servant. That's the kind of leadership this country needs, not those who look the other way while the resources of the country are stolen. Those who their lifestyle cannot even encourage them, their antecedent cannot even encourage them to utter a word like they want to fight corruption. They cannot, it's so heavy in their mouth to talk about corruption. It is so heavy. And it will be too heavy in the ears of Nigerians for such people to utter that word. So you need a leader who, when he tells you that he's fighting corruption, you will see it in his lifestyle. You will see it in his past record, his antecedent. Peter Obi has shown himself to be a man who can live above board, a man who is not like the average politician in Nigeria, a man who will be ready to work for the generality of Nigeria, a man who the treasury of Nigeria will be safe under his care. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it hard and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.